Hi there, my name is Cronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of The Green Slime. It's a sci-fi, came out in 1968. IMDb has it as an X. It's an hour and 30 minutes. Amazon is 4.6 out of 5. IMDb is 4.9 out of 10. I'll read both synopsises. IMDb is, after destroying a giant asteroid heading towards Earth, a group of scientists unknowingly bring back a strange green substance that soon mutates into a monster. And Amazon is, after a perilous mission to an asteroid, a crew returns to its space station, unaware a bit of ooze from the asteroid clings to a crewman's uniform. The green goop grows into monsters. So the director is Kinji Fukasaku, Fukasaku, who directed Fall Guy. Producer, well, there's three of them, but with producer on, we have Walter Manley, who produced The Wild Wild Planet, and Ivan Reiner, who produced Snow Devils. Music was by Charles Fox, who did the series Conan, and Toshiaki Toshima, who did the music for Night Train. Now the cast, we have Robert Horton, who is Commander Jack Rankin, who's in The Spy Killer, he's on the left. Richard Jaeckel, Jaeckel, who was Commander Vince Elliott, he was Starman, and he's on the right. Luciana Paluzzi, who was Dr. Lisa Benson, she was in Thunderball, and Ted Gunther, who is Dr. Hans Halvorson, who's in Cop Hater. It was filmed in Toei, T-O-E-I, Tokyo Studios in Tokyo in Japan. And it's also known as Battle Beyond the Stars. After the destruction of Space Station Gamma, big military operation, that's entirely one title. Death in the Green Slime, Gamma Number 3, big military space operation, and the Battle of Space Station Gamma. And some trivia is, the green slime creatures were played by Japanese children in bulky monster suits. I bloody knew it. I watched it and I thought, there's no way they're adults, they're kids when I was watching it. Now, I couldn't find it on YouTube, so I paid for it. Let me see how much it was on Amazon. £4.49 to rent the SD version, so it was like, yeah, it was a request, so I thought, why not? I don't buy many films, so why not? Now, on the start of the trailer, there's this strange ship floating by. So I was watching that. That's literally at the very beginning. And then there's this city. It's space type. You can see cars moving. So it's models, obviously, but you can see little cars zipping around. Well, they're headlights. So I thought that's kind of cool. And then some dude, which I thought was on the ship. It turned out he was actually on the station down below. He asked for some sort of status report on the command ship, and he got it and went, same old garbage, nothing exciting happens around here. And bam, the red rock appeared. It's like, yeah. And then the intro credits, there's music called Green Slime, strange enough, very good. I enjoyed that. It was like, the Green Slime, it was like that kind of music. So, is it Rankin, I think his name is? Let me get his name. Yeah, Rankin. So Rankin looks suave. Hair gel, so it's not moving at all, whilst he turns with his sly smile. That kind of person. And then you probably see this on the trailer. It's literally like watching Thunderbirds, but with human actors. So if you know Thunderbirds, it's the puppets with the it's the puppets. But it's built like that. But then there's real people. It's kind of interesting in a way. Now straight away I can see the issue with the two dudes, Lisa. And she also seems to be, so far, the only non-blonde woman on land or in space. So I was watching all the women there on the spaceship and also on land, and they all seemed blonde. Apart from her, she was auburn or brown or whatever, I don't know. Now, like I say, I like how we see the models in space, and then the actors are standing next to the models, but they're not models, they've been rebuilt, if you know what I mean, to look like they're actually the same size as what they should be if they're actually sat in them. So that was kind of interesting. Nowadays, it would just be some CGI crap with the green screen, you know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, put your brains into it. It's not like the film Bruce Willis. I think it's Deep Impact or whatever. It's not that. They're on the asteroid. It's not. This little trolley thing that they're driving on this rock looks a bit flimsy, and then it's funny because they're supposed to be on this planet and they look like they're just running on the ground. And I was watching how the green slime moves. It's just so funny watching it. And then, like I say, he just ran. There was no. Well, I'm assuming the gravitational pull was exactly 1, which is ours, I think. Anyway, so they're jetting away, and Rankin says, right, so it's so weird when you see this. You see this on the trailer. Oh, I don't know if it's on the trailer, but you see this as you're watching it. So they're all sat there in their seats, right, because they're obviously trying to get away. And Rankin says, more speed! And the dude in the control says, it'll break up! And then Vince, or Elliot as I kept calling him, says, we're doing 10 Gs. And the main guy, which is Rankin, just says, crank it up. Now, that's fine, you get that. But the problem is, Rankin looks calm and relaxed. He's just sort of sitting there going, oh, just, increase the power. The controller, who turns his head to one side, talks back to the guy behind him, so his neck is completely fine. Elliot has his head rammed against the headrest, looking like he's strained. And then we move back to Rankin, who also manages to stand up and walk forwards, even though they're doing 10 Gs. And Elliot's got his head rammed into the headrest. It's that kind of thing. And then we get back to, not Earth, it's the space station. And Lisa's managed to open the door to where they all are. And Lisa's like saying, oh, we need to decontaminate 3 times. La, 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 la. And she just opens the door. I was like, no security, I take it. It's like, oh, yeah. What could possibly go wrong? So, they found something writhing on the floor. So instead of killing it, they tried to capture it. And as I say, I didn't know this was a kid, so I was just writing it as I was watching it. I said, and then this kid in a weird costume walks towards them with arms like vacuum cleaner hoses, throwing around kind of wildly. So if you can imagine a vacuum cleaner hose just sort of flinging around, attacking, even throwing some guy to his death as this ragdoll flops onto the floor. It's just so. So I can't remember who it was that asked some random guy. He says, is there any way out there? He went, no sir, it's a dead end. Only a ventilation shaft. Yeah, not really a dead end then, is it? They were doing well in the hospital ward, trying to contain the alien. Except the door that they slid shut to keep it contained nearly fell out of its runner. Obviously, because it's, not really a proper door. But it was an interesting concept for how the alien, how the alien is, but how it stays alive. It's an interesting thing. Don't worry, I haven't finished the film yet. So they have quite a good plan, even pointing out sections of the ship on a drawing in colours on the wall, like something that a kid would have in a book. So apparently the theory is we've got 10 minutes to move everyone, including all the sick. Right? And then we're going to enact the plan. And then a nurse asks Lisa, says, will everything be alright? She goes, yes, yes. Famous last words. And then I was confused because they said evacuate in 10 minutes. But then the aliens just strolled into the ward while everyone was screaming. As they enacted their plans, they sort of said, right, we need to get them out there in 10 minutes. Right, now let's enact the plan. It's like, yeah, they're still there. And in fact, they started to move when when obviously what his name is, Commander Jack Rankin, come running in, to save the day. Now I'm at the bit, the trailer where we zoom into everyone's face. It's a tense moment. I can see why Ellie is about to do it. It's like, yeah, go on, do it. Anyway, the plan went pear-shaped. You can imagine explosions, deaths and destruction. Good old Lisa. asked again. Everything's going to be alright. Everything's going to be fine. Once again, wrong. Now, I like the lasers that were shooting bright yellow beams as our space dudes were flying around. I think that's on a trailer, I can't remember. But yeah, it was okay for the time. You know, it was from the 60s, or just over. Is it 60s? Am I thinking of the right film? Yeah, 68. The aliens were funny in a way, but the way the multiplier was definitely different to other films I've seen. I'm going to give it a 5. That's me being quite positive. Okay, well, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this film review of The Green Slime. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of other film reviews, some sci-fi films and some old films, I would say. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. Leave a comment below. Have you seen this film? Did you enjoy it? Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.